Hello, all you readers watching this on YouTube, especially those uh, uh, are you booktubers. I'm Tim, and this is another episode of Tim's Reads. This series, I just show you what I'm reading at the time. I know it's been a while since I've done a video, but mainly because of my health problems, and plus my wife and I were out of town for almost a week up in Minnesota. Uh, but that said, let me show you what I'm reading right now. I'm reading three of the four books I'm reading are e-books, and then one physical book. The first one I'm reading, get it to where you can read it without so much glare. It's on my Kindle Fire. Is Justice for Jessica. This book is about Jessica James, who was a wealthy woman, was murdered one night. At the time, her best friend Stacy, he was staying overnight because her Jessica's husband was flying over to London to for business, and she didn't like staying alone. So Stacy came over and stayed with her, and during the night Jessica was killed. Stacy was asleep at the time. Her back had been bothering her, and she had a few glasses of wine before going to bed, and she was out cold. Anyway, this book is trying to find out who killed Jessica, and it's the person for this is a detective named Rachel Stone with the LA Police Department, but she was on leave, and she was about to put him for retiring from the force, and well, anyway, they talked her back into for this case because with her experience and stuff. And well, anyway, the book is written in first person, and it's between two different people though. They've already chapters. One's Rachel or Stacy. The next one will be Rachel, and it switches back and forth that way. The next one is a Crimson Set of Silver. I'm trying to get it to where that don't have so much glare. By Ellen Myers Starkey. It's on my Nook Colors where I'm reading it. It's about a guy that's like a wealthy entrepreneur. He's also like a private pilot. Flies smaller planes, a little bigger than ultralights, and he gets a call from one of his friends that's another pilot that asks if he's seen a guy that he had been real good friends with once earlier, whether he had seen him, and he said no. His friend asked if he could check on him in Orlando, when he was down in Orlando, because this guy was went down to Orlando for business quite a bit. So he went to check on this friend, and he wasn't there and stuff. Well, he was flying back home, and out towards the swamp, he noticed plane down, and he gets closer, and he could tell it was this friend's plane, and he landed and discovered that his friend had been shot and stuff, and he determined that then and there that he was going to find who killed him, and he had taken some stuff out of the plane, and then he called that friend of his back and told him to call Civil Air Patrol, and they found the body and stuff, and then they called the police. And, anyway, later him and this other friend go to check on this other friend's girlfriend, and they discover she was murdered also in her house. But anyway, the main guy in here has determined that he's going to find out who killed them, and of course flying all over, and as far as I've gone, he's found out like something with the Bahamas and stuff, so he's starting to check more and more out while trying to not tell the sheriff the complete truth and stuff. The third book I'm reading is Red Rabbit by Tom Clancy. This book was written in 2002, but it takes place before The Hunt for Red October. It takes place in the early 80s, when Solidarity was really being making the news and stuff here in America back in the early 80s. And Pope John Paul II, who was from Poland, has publicly stated that he supported the Solidarity movement. Well, higher ups in the party, and the KGB doesn't like this, and the KGB starts secretly plotting an assassination of John Paul. That's all the further I've gotten in this so far. See, in Justice for Jessica, I'm almost 3/4 the way through, and A Crimson Set of Silver, I'm a third of the way through, and I'm almost a third of the way through Red Rabbit, of course. That Crimson Set of Silver is like over 500 pages. This is over 600 pages. And the third book I'm reading is one that doesn't have a cover page on it. It's one I downloaded from Project Gutenberg. It's The Brothers Karamazov by Fyodor Dostoevsky. I'm probably slaughtering his name. It's the first book I've read by a Russian author, and of course it's a classic. It's mainly talk about three brothers, and so far the relationship to their father. There's a lot of religious and philosophical stuff in it so far. I'm only around 100 pages through with that one. It's a 800-page book. Something that I thought was sort of funny is some of the stuff that's talking about so far, and some of the stuff that Red Rabbit's talking about are very similar. I thought that was sort of funny. Well, you notice that 3 out of the 4 books I'm reading are mysteries or thrillers, and like Justice or Jessica's a mystery. I think Crimson Set of Silver is considered more of a thriller, and of course Red Rabbit's considered a thriller. The reason why I bring that up is I've noticed I've been reading more mysteries and thrillers than other books lately, and because of that, I decided to start a second blog group a couple of weeks ago, which I named Roldo Sleuths, which I just write about mystery and thrillers, mainly book reviews in it. I'll leave a link for that for the blog down below. But I've already done 2 book reviews in it. It's for from a couple authors that I received review copies of their books, and I posted a review in my blog of both those books, and both authors have seen the blog, and they both says that it looks good. But like I said, it's a new blog I started, and it's just for mystery and thrillers. All my other book reviews I'll put in my other blog. That's all I have for you this time. So until next time, take it easy and keep on reading.